dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYNT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The coronavirus has now claimed more than 85,000 lives in the United States, and nationwide there are more than 1.4 million confirmed cases. CBS's Elise Preston has the latest on the struggle to balance reopening the economy while keeping people safe.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz gave the green light for retailers to open their doors again next Monday.
We believe that the safest place we can be is at home, but we know we can't continue like this forever.
But Mall of America, one of the biggest malls in the nation, plans to wait until June 1st. Like other businesses across the U.S., the Minneapolis area mall needs time to rehire workers and put coronavirus safety protocols in place. In Cadillac, Michigan, this barbershop is already doing business despite extended stay-at-home orders from Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
It's been 2.5 months since I've had a haircut, and I've desperately needed one.
About 250 protesters, some carrying long guns, returned to the Capitol in Lansing to demand statewide restrictions be lifted. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is letting Miami-Dade and Broward counties start their Phase 1 reopening on Monday.
It would be based on our observed experience, not based on hysteria.
Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti issued an order requiring people to wear face coverings in public as California eases social distancing rules.
It's great. I mean, we have to, if we want to protect each other.
A new CBS poll finds 44% of Americans say they always wear a mask or face covering when they go out. 11% say they never do.
A group hug. Oh, yeah.
And in Illinois, a little ingenuity gave Rose Gagnon a chance to hug her great-grandchildren.
It filled my heart.
Gagnon's granddaughter hopes other families will build their own hug time machine so they can feel the love too. Elise Preston, CBS News.
Here in Kentucky, Governor Andy Beshear announced 199 new cases today and 2 new deaths. So far, 7,225 Kentuckians have contracted the virus. The death toll is now 328. 2,712 people have recovered from the virus. More than 121,000 tests have now been administered. Some good news tonight. Governor Beshear has moved up the date for people to gather in small groups again. Groups with 10 people or fewer can be together starting May 22nd. That's up a few days from the governor's original plan. And the governor's revised travel ban will expire on that same day. That is just in time for the Memorial Day weekend. But even as people get together, the governor is still urging everyone to take precautions. Applications will open tomorrow morning for people to get money from the Team Kentucky Fund. So far, it's raised $3 million. That money will go to anyone who has been financially impacted by COVID-19. Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman says vouchers will be given out to help people catch up on bills or necessities. Are domestic violence cases increasing during the pandemic? Experts at the Rising Center in Hazard say yes. The program director says calls have increased the past 2 weeks. She says one reason why is that people have received resources from the stimulus checks to buy more drugs and alcohol, which could lead to a victim being targeted once the attacker becomes under the influence of those substances.
We have seen a significant increase, probably about 25% increase in calls, either coming through our crisis line. Most of them are showing up at our door, and we've had about 3 or 4 at the hospital that reported to the hospital because of some kind of sexual violence.
The director also said domestic violence and sexual violence go hand in hand. The Rising Center has programs in place to help victims get the proper care, such as legal and medical help. You can call the 24-hour crisis hotline at 1-800-262-7491 if you need help. As many restaurants plan to reopen to in-person dining on May 22nd, a handful of places will look a little different as they've taken this time to renovate. For Big Blue Smokehouse in Hazard, there will be new tables, seating, and even a new drink menu. Owners say they're also working on bringing a patio with the ability to seat 40 to 50 people outside, since in-person dining is limited inside to 33% capacity. During the last couple of months, they say the business has taken a pretty big hit, in part due to the lack of catering needs.
We were doing a really good business, and it's pretty well crippled our business, other than, you know, what few takeouts we get a day. I mean, but we probably lost 75% of our revenue.
Once they reopen, they say they will take all the necessary steps to keep everything sanitized and clean. They're hoping the patio seating will make up for the lack of inside seating. People will have to wait another year for fireworks this 4th of July in Corbin. Officials with the Corbin Tourism and Convention Commission Board are erring on the side of public safety and citing budget concerns as why they are tabling their 2020 fireworks show. Officials say it costs $12,000 to hold the 25-minute show, and with a 50% drop in budget revenue, this decision impacts everyone.
You know, the fireworks do, bring people into our restaurants. They bring people into the gas stations, purchasing gas and snacks and things of that nature. Some people catch a movie before the fireworks, so it does have an impact directly on our businesses.
Kriebel says they hope by doing this they can definitely bring it back next year in 2021.
Well, we dealt with a few scattered showers and storms today, but most of us stayed on the dry side, and we all got to see those warm temperatures return once again. We'll take you up to satellite and radar first, though, where you can see we saw a few of those scattered showers and storms a little bit earlier this evening. You can see just a very stray pop-up here and there, but like I said, most of us did remain on the dry side. Temperatures into about those mid to upper 60s. Some spots still in the lower 70s over into Moorhead and Irvin, 59 in Jonesville, 64 in Wise, 61 over into Harlan. Today, though, reached a high of 84 degrees. It's finally good to say that we are actually 10 degrees above average, while we were about 10 to 20 degrees below average actually the past few days. That low this morning, though, right there near average, nowhere near those records. At least we're not breaking those low temperature records anymore. And there's a flashback of those 50s and even 60s we saw over the past several days, but today got to 84, and we're going to continue that warming trend really as we head into the weekend and a little bit into next week. We are tracking a cool down for your Monday as a cold front moves back into the mountains. I'll have those details coming up in a little bit.
All right, thank you, Paige. This week is National Skilled Nursing Care Week. In Cumberland, Tri-Cities Nursing and Rehabilitation Center celebrated differently for the first time in more than 2 decades with a drive-by parade. WYMT's Lacey Roberts spoke with loved ones who say this means everything to them.
Visitation at Tri-Cities Nursing and Rehabilitation Center looks a little bit different these days.
When we first started this, I was really worried about it, about how people would perceive it.
It's been since March that these patients have seen their loved ones.
It's been hard on them because they miss their family, and they really enjoy when they get to come and see them.
But Thursday, that all changed. A parade for workers who come here day in and day out.
They will be very excited to see people.
Katina Fields' grandmothers both have dementia.
And it is hard for them to understand what's going on, why no one's coming to see them.
They find solace in their new normal.
They have been very helpful. Anytime you want to FaceTime them, you just have to let them know and they'll FaceTime you, or you can just call.
Only today, they took a trip back to better days.
I hope that they'll be tickled. Hopefully they won't try to stop the car and get in with us.
Seeing each other in person.
Of course you want to see them.
Giving all a sight to remember. In Harlan, Lacey Roberts, WYMT Mountain News.
An inmate considered dangerous escaped from outside the Harlan County Jail on Tuesday, and police still need your help finding him. This is 37-year-old David Parsons. Officials say he escaped around 2:30 p.m. on Tuesday while working detail planting potatoes. Harlan County Detention Center jailer B.J. Burkhart says once the inmates were back inside, they realized they were one short.
Well, when they come in, he only brought 7 men with him. And so he, sometime between the van and the back of the booking, he got away from my deputy.
Burkhart said employees on duty at the time are on unpaid leave. Parsons is considered a level 1 inmate, meaning he was allowed to be outside doing work detail. Parsons is from Pike County, but they believe he could be in the Dehoyt community of Harlan County. Anyone with information is asked to call KSP at 606-573-3131 or the jail at 606-837-0096. Music is something people use to get through tough times. Kenna Kemper is a junior at South Laurel High School and spends most of her days working, but during quarantine decided to put her musical talents to use. In honor of her friends who are seniors, she wrote a song to help encourage them through this difficult time.
First few weeks of quarantine, God just really laid all of our seniors on my heart, and I knew a lot of them were feeling really broken and hopeless, and they didn't really know what was going to come.
Kemper says the song was easy to write because she had a lot on her heart and mind. In Floyd County, vandalism is being answered with vibrance. One Prestonsburg business owner talked to WYMT's Buddy Forbes about her graffiti cover-up and the message she hopes it sends to the community.
Many people say Sugar Camp Mountain is
one of the highlights of Prestonsburg, Kentucky.
Which is why people were so upset when a mural painted there was vandalized.
Our city and tourism and people in the community have just worked really, really hard to keep it beautiful.
That is why the mural was created in the first place. Selena Valencia painted it to cover up vandalism years ago.
And I noticed the rock and I saw where it had been vandalized again, and I paint a lot, so I almost always have paint in my vehicle.
So City Perk owner Jen Kopecky put that paint to use, covering the vandalism once again, working to shine a positive light for the community. Which is not uncommon for Kopecky. She has been cultivating that same message in her coffee shop for years, and more recently through a Facebook group called Create During COVID.
It was cool because we have a huge amount of people in the community who gather together and constantly project positivity.
Their local artists share their craft to highlight beauty and let it shine through.
That brings me joy.
Come vandalism or pandemic.
It seems like we always pull together and unite together and stand together, and it's just really beautiful to witness that.
Painting the mountains with their passion. In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Coming up on Mountain News at 11, a deadly grader accident in Perry County, and a Pikeville principal remembers surviving the Carrollton bus crash that killed 27 people 32 years ago today.
And those warmer temperatures continue tomorrow, along with those scattered rain chances. I'll have a look at that forecast coming up.